welcome to the info session for class 19. I can't believe that we've already reached class 19 for our full stack web development career track. And while, yes, Slim is Tunisian, we have plenty of Tunisian team members in our team. I'm Damian, I'm the co-founder and currently serve as the general manager at Social Hackers Academy.
And I'm Slim Kasraoui, the education manager at Social Hackers Academy. And yes, I'm Tunisian, and I definitely need to change this photo.
Why? You look like a killer. It's being the education manager, maybe you should bring this picture and show it to them. This is what you're going to get if you don't do your assignments.
People out. Okay. All right.
You know,
I'm gonna use
sometimes...
it on this then. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, class 19 officially starts on June 27th. Just to make it super clear, on June 27th, we start the period of the pre-course that will last for 2 weeks. So for some of you might have already finished the pre-course. Some of you might have started the pre-course. It really depends on you. And we generally invite you to start the pre-course as soon as possible. After this session, even better, I would say. Don't leave just yet. So the faster you finish it, the faster you get a place in our upcoming cohort. So we are going to educate you on full stack web development. That's our career track, and which lasts for 6 + 1 months. 6 months is the learning, and the last month is building a big project, which will be, let's say, the primary asset of your portfolio. And then learning, we have a lot of options for you to learn, but we proposed for you to be studying 5 to 9 Eastern Europe time, where the live classes, events, employability workshops, one-on-one coaching, those all happen pretty much 5 to 9 Eastern European time. And scholarships are available refugees, asylum seekers, and people who are currently unemployed.
okay. So here we have some important dates. So the most important date is the day you apply, and then you can directly join the Discord server and have access to our Athena platform and thus start the pre-course. Then June 20 today, so the info session, and you can also ask all your questions, and if you have any concern or anything, we will answer it by the end of the session. 27th of June, it's the official date of starting the pre-course, together with your future classmates and the support of the instructors and the team. And it's mandatory to join and to start at last by the 27th. Then 8th of July is the last day to finish the pre-course. If by that date you still didn't finish the pre-course while you had already 2 weeks to finish it, you won't be able to join the class, knowing that it won't take you more than 3-4 days to finish it. Then 15th of July is for the people who are paying for the course to finalize the payment. And July 18th, we kick off the actual course, the full stack career track. After, of course, you are accepted and enrolled to the course itself. And it will be the first day of the course, and we will have the kickoff session all together with the whole class.
So In SHA, I understand this slide is a bit saturated. It's too much information there, but I'll try to break it down for you. And in SHA, we essentially offer a holistic approach towards employment via learning how to become a full stack web developer. So far, from the graduates who are actively seeking employment, we have placed 88%. So it's almost 9 out of 10 people who do graduate get employed, and the others are just in the process. It might be different for some people. Some people it's faster. For some people, they need more time. So it really depends on the person. So we kind of keep repeating ourselves about some stuff, but we think it's very important. So we prefer to go this way. So the pre-course, it's the first week, and this is your initial and mandatory step. It will help you understand the basic concepts of programming and write your first programs in Python. Then, weeks 3 to 26, you will participate in our full stack web development course, where you will learn a lot of technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Node.js, Express.js, and MongoDB. And if this sounds like Chinese to you, I get it. It's all right. It's absolutely acceptable. It won't be acceptable if you reach week 26 and you still don't know what JavaScript is. I think we're going to have a problem. Slim, what?
We won't wait till week 26 to have the problem.
Okay, we'll have the problem earlier. Remember, Slim and his photo. He looks like a good guy, but remember that photo. He's like the silent killer of SHA. Also, alongside the programming skills, or how some people call it, the hard skills, we focus a lot on getting you job ready. And we start together the hard skills and the soft skills or employability skills, starting with the soft skills course. And during this course, you will acquire almost all skills necessary that recruiters are looking for. And these are really vital for you to land your dream job. It's not just about how good of a coder you are. Most recruiters actually prefer for you to have the other skills because the programming skills are easier to acquire. Saying that though, don't feel stressed about it. Nobody was born with incredible communication skills or presentation skills or collaboration effectiveness or how fast you learn. These are all skills that you can acquire. And now, this cohort being our 19th, we have created a process that really takes our students from zero to hero, as we like to call it. Then we have a course called How to Get a Dev Job course, which we were not very creative in naming this. It was just like exactly what it does. So How to Get a Dev Job course. And this course will support you in navigating, how to do the CV, how to look for open positions, etc. And at the end, week 26 to 32, you have your graduation project. This either happens in a team environment or individually. Hedvig, thank you for your question. Give us the time. The answer will come a bit later in our presentation.
Okay, so I move to the next slide.
Please do.
And now I will walk you a bit through the technologies that you will learn in this course. So the HTML and CSS. So more in details, you will learn about tables, forms, medias, box model, positioning, flexbox, grid, some CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, animations, and Sass. Then JavaScript, the basics and fundamentals, the DOM manipulation and events, asynchronous JavaScript, APIs, React, Node, and Express. And for the databases, you will learn about MongoDB and Mongoose. So this should look scary at first sight, but don't let the technical word scare you or make you feel uncomfortable. We all have been there, and by a couple of weeks in the program, you will get familiar with a lot of new concepts. All right, so the total hours of learning, we split them into some categories. So for example, for the live classes, you will have 2 live classes minimum per week. So that will be 112 hours of live classes or more, definitely more. 70 hours of pair programming minimum. And when we say pair programming, that means during the course, you will have some code challenges, and you will work with one of your classmates to solve these code challenges. So that's what we call pair programming, and this will help you work on your collaboration and teamwork skills. The employability workshops and sessions, so it will be around 84 hours all along the course, and your guided learning, or let's say self-guided learning, will be around 560 hours all along the 6 months, and we invite you to study at least 4 hours a day. Like that's the minimum. We ask you to...
Not just studying, sorry to jump in, not 4 hours in general, with the live classes, with employability. Your commitment should be around 4 hours per day. Yeah, not just studying.
All right. So when are the classes? So before talking about the classes, we have 2 category of hackers. So our students, the regular hackers and the weekend hackers. So this is a common week, let's say, how your week should look like if you are a regular hacker. So let's say Monday, you start your self-reading, work on the assignment or the code challenge with your pair. Then you will have the live session, and then you will go back to study and apply what you learned in the live session or in the platform. Tuesday, it will be like you working on your learning on the platform, working on the exercises and assignments. If you need help, we are always around on Discord to support you with the ticket tool system. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you have a taste of how it can look like. And by the end of the week, we will share with you some surveys, and we need you to fill them. That allows us to have feedback from you and to always iterate and make our education, way of education and doing things always better and fit our students' needs. So then the weekend hacker. So if you are working and you cannot put a lot of hours every day, let's say 4 hours a day during the whole week, we thought of that and we came with this concept of being a weekend hacker, where you are asked to study on Saturday and Sunday. But here it will be like 8 hours a day, not 4, where you can like watch the live sessions recording. They will be recorded and we will share the links with you on Vimeo. You will work on your code challenges, watch the webinar or the employability workshop, and of course, working on the code challenges with your pair, and your pair will be from the weekend hacker category as well, and so on, and fill the survey by Sunday as well. All right.
And so, sorry to jump in. If you can go to the previous slide, please.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is essentially just a guide. It's not going to look so perfect, or with the regular hackers. Not everything happens exactly, because your live class, for example, might not be on Monday. It might be on Tuesday. So we don't know. I'm not sure if we know the exact days of the upcoming cohort when that's going to happen. So this is a suggestion. I don't think on Tuesday you will have 4 full hours of studying. There is always something going on, an event, or so it's this is like
presentation.
yes. So this is like an estimate of what you could expect when studying with Social Hackers Academy. Sorry, Slim. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So can I make my own schedule for the course? So yes, but there are some points that you need to focus on, which is studying regularly, studying on weekends, and you can study when you want with your own schedule, except for the live sessions if you are a regular hacker, or any other session, employability session, workshops, or students' presentation. These sessions are mandatory. Otherwise, like how you organize your time all along the day and your studying hours, it's up to you. And we will be always around, mainly from 6 till midnight during the week. If you need help with the course material, we will be around to help you with that. And also during the weekend from 10 to 6. All right. The stage is yours, Damian.
Yeah. So addressing common myths. Who is a good programmer? The myth says that you have to be a great mathematician. It's definitely not true. We have people who have very, very minimum understanding of mathematics, and they were able to graduate our course. Does it help to know math? Yes, it does help, but it primarily helps a bit in like after you start your career, like on your way to becoming a mid-level or senior engineer. That's when you need the math, because the algorithms, it's not math per se. It's not like 1 + 1. It's not equations. It's very logical math. So pretty much nothing to do with what you potentially learned at school, because it depends also on where you went to school. But from what I've seen, it's pretty logical. So you do need to invest time once you are at 2 to 3 years old in a programming position, although it doesn't hurt to know good math. Then programmers do have bad communication skills, which is not the case. It's actually the exact opposite. The days that we've seen in movies, of the programmer, this kind of freakish guy with long hair, deep down in a dungeon, just hacking away, these days have passed. Software is developed in very different ways. And that's why we put so much effort in developing your soft skills. So good communication skills is a must, but you have to understand that it's a skill that you can acquire. Nobody was born a great communicator. It's something that you can develop. And just through participating in our course for 7 months with your fellow students, with the pair programming, you develop the skill either you want it or not. Then another good programmer should be able to fix a printer. I don't know. I don't think
you will get
you
that
must
from neighbors.
Yeah, actually, also it depends on what kind of software you use in your computer. So, for example, Slim uses Linux. So he's not able to fix a printer because nothing works with Linux. If you have Windows, then it will probably work anyway, so you don't need to actually fix it. So be wary of Linux, which is a great suggestion for programmers, by the way. I have to acknowledge that, although I also have to joke around with Slim. Then a programmer is not creative. I would say also on the contrary. It really depends on your position and your skills. So, there is no perfect person. There is no perfect persona that you can say, oh, he's going to be a great programmer. No, there is no such thing. You bring the skills you already have in your life, you make them potentially better, you double down on what you do very well, and being creative could help as a programmer, depending also on your position. And a good programmer is a nerd and lonely person. again, I feel that these are stereotypes passed to us through TV and YouTube or whatnot. So yeah, it's not like that, because as I mentioned earlier, programmers always works in a team environment. So you must have some at least basic skills to start with of communication. But you also can be a nerd and lonely. It it depends on you. It really depends on you. But this is not a mandatory. So yeah, thanks, Lim. Could you move to the next one, please? So what makes SHA special? I have to say that I'm a bit biased on that, as I'm one of the co-founders. So I think we do everything great. So, but what really makes us different is the live classes. Very, very few other coding bootcamps do offer that. Then we have code challenges very often, every week, more than once per week. And the solution you have twice per week. And you have the live solution done right there and right there, during the live sessions. And then we have code reviews. This is very, very critical, because it's not enough. So you write your code, right? And if nobody gives you feedback on it, this is what it means essentially. Code review equals feedback on your code. So you need a person to give you feedback on how to potentially do this better and think together how you could do it better. So this is really, really important. Then we have pair programming, where you study together, solve problems, do your assignments together with one of your fellow students, which really helps develop your communication skills, your teamwork skills. Essentially, all these things has some sort of like foundation underneath them that builds your skills. That's why we have put all these ways to support you. Then we have the help desk, which Slim briefly mentioned before, which essentially we have something like customer support, So you have a problem with your television or your computer, you go to the customer support and you hopefully receive help. Not from Facebook or anyone like that, but maybe from another company. We have the same kind of ticketing system. So you submit your question. I don't know how to do this. And in a very timely manner, you get an answer either from a technical, either from an education member of our team, another student, a student who is more, for example, now might be in class 18, where he has like about 3 months of experience more than you. So volunteers are there, so you get answers very quickly. Then you have mentors. We have a great mentor support. You essentially, through one partnership you have access to 5,000 mentors. And it's really incredible to have access to such people. We mentioned quite a lot the soft skills and employability workshops, which pretty much happens on a weekly basis. And we have 2 events per month. One is technical, so coding related. The other is employability related. So we bring most of the times recruiters, human resources managers, to talk to you for you to understand their needs. So
and sometimes developers for the technical part. And I invite you, by the way, to join the event of this Wednesday. It will be about building a game with JavaScript. So it's interesting. And regarding the help desk, like if Damien, you don't know how to use the ticket tool, if you are already on Discord, if you go to the ticket tool channel, there is a video there on how to use the Discord channels and how to use the ticket tool. All right. And let's move to the next slide.
There is a lot of information there. So I advise you to either take a screenshot or go back and watch the YouTube video next time. We have really went above and beyond, create an education experience that gets you hired. So we are doing many things that others are not doing. For example, many people are trying to learn on their own. And although many people have succeeded in learning alone through YouTube, this is very hard. And only a very small percentage of people actually get jobs after only studying through YouTube. So for us, YouTube is not the best, let's say, way to learn. It can be a great addition. We use a lot of YouTube videos. It's inside our curriculum also. Yes, but those are references. It's not where the real learning happens. And then we have, of course, the computer science university degrees, which are super expensive. And at the end of the day, they pretty much only teach you theory, or at least this is our belief. They don't get you job ready as we do. Then we have Coursera or EDX or I don't know, whatever online platform. This is similar to YouTube. It's a bit better potentially, but it doesn't get you hired, which is what we're all about. The only like real, let's say, adversary here is other code schools, which really depends on the services they offer. So we offer a lot of services, as you can see, and at a fraction of the cost. So for someone who asked before, our cost currently is 497 euros for the whole 7 months. And we I very strongly urge you to participate in this cohort, because starting from September, the price is going to be really different. So this is the last chance it has this price tag. So if anyone is thinking of maybe not joining now, joining in September, yes, join on September. It's not, you have your life, but it's going to be definitely a very different price. Yeah.
Okay, so I move to the next slide, I guess, and there it is.
Yeah. So does the job market needs more developers? Yes, it absolutely does needs more developers, and we've seen it also in our school. So, for example, for our Greek, people who live in Greece, our first, we are almost 5 years old at this point. So we've graduated and placed many people all these years. And at the beginning, our students in their first position, they got around 700 to 800 euros net. Right now, because the tech talent gap is getting bigger and bigger, our students are getting placed starting with 1,100, 1,300 euros. So in like only 2 to 3 years, the salaries have almost doubled. So I cannot say anything else on that, on how much the needs are growing of the tech companies. So demand for software developers is projected to grow by 22%. I very honestly believe it's going to be much more than that, because I've seen what happened these 5 years, and the problem is only getting worse, which is a great opportunity for us and for you to join this tech revolution and start your future-proof career, as we like to call it. And in all other occupations, in all other industries, the projected growth is 4%. So even if it stays at 22%, and this is not our assumption, this is based on a paper that we follow about developer demands, it's already a huge difference, as I think you can see here. But don't stay at percentage stuff. Just go to wherever you live, go to a job market, and just check how much the salaries are growing quarter to quarter. Yeah.
Okay. So the equipment, the necessary equipment for the course, nothing crazy. So you just need to have a stable internet connection, a computer preferably with
and unlimited connection, not
unlimited.
to use mobile data. It has to
Yes.
be unlimited and stable. If it's slow speed, it's okay, but it needs to be stable.
Yes. So, and regarding the computer, you need to have a minimum of 4 gigabytes of RAM, an Intel i5 processor or equivalent, a wide display, minimum 15 inches. That will help you a lot while working on websites, application, and so on. And the operating system, so it can be Windows, Mac, or Linux. Even
Or
though,
nothing else. Windows, Mac, that's it. As for the questions, we prefer to ask your questions in the Q&A, but we'll get to every question anyway. So don't worry, we have plenty of time after our presentation. We just want to give you the initial information, and then we're here for as long as you need us to be. So
okay.
what does it take? Yeah, what does it take to succeed in the course? You must have a lot of determination and desire. I think that's the thing you have to start with, because we might paint a picture that is easy, and it can be easy depending on how you approach it. So if you really understand why you want to join and give yourself the chance to go through the challenges you're going to face, we are here to support you every little or bigger step of the way. We are offering a true holistic approach. We have people in our team to support you with pretty much anything you're facing. Then self-management is a great skill to have, which you will of course develop also throughout the course. So if you stay in front of the PC and claim to be productive by watching YouTube videos, like watching 8 hours of YouTube videos and then not coding at all, that will not work for you that well. Yes, watch your YouTube videos, but that should be a part of it. You need to start typing. Yeah, you need to build stuff. Exactly. Curiosity is a great attribute, I think, for a programmer, for a developer, because you need to be curious about exploring the potential solution for the problem at hand that you're solving. So curiosity is important, and of course, having a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset allows you to break through the initial challenges you will face. A growth mindset, for example, is that you understand that learning is a process. And when you're stuck in a problem, it's not time to quit. It's time to get feedback. It's time to get support. It's time to ask support from your fellow student or your teacher or a mentor or someone from our team. Growth mindset is really essential.
And I can tell you that you will find yourself many times like stuck. And we really encourage you to leverage all the support and help we are providing. So don't stay in your corner, like struggling, losing time, because like each week has its own chunk of content. And if you stay in your corner without asking for help, if you realize that you are losing too much time, you will lose that time, and it will create a snowball effect. So you will find yourself in the next week or studying stuff from the previous week, and so on and so forth. So we really encourage you to seek help. Don't be shy, and we are here for that.
And this is literally also our job. Either you receive a scholarship or pay the very small fee that we have for you. We are here to support you graduate. This is literally our job. So if you don't allow us, then we cannot do our job. And the way you allow us is by giving us the truth, asking for support. We all have problems. In 7 months, Of course, you're going to have a problem. Maybe it's a family problem, it's a personal problem, it's a money problem. We will have problems, but we are here to really we go above and beyond in supporting you graduate. So please, please, please use us. This might be free. Actually, for me, both are free. Either the 497 or the scholarship, it's almost the same. But it's the value is not just that. The value you're receiving is not free. It costs a lot of money to run our operation. It's just that because we are a non-profit, we have managed to raise funds from donors who wants to see you graduate and get a job. So there are many people involved in this program. And all we ask is for you to be open to feedback and to really leverage, use all the resources that we provide to you, which are almost limitless. And I mentioned this before, you need to find your why. This is very important. Why do you need this job? Why do you need to study with us? Really take time to think why you want to. Because if you don't have a good enough reason to join, then you will probably quit at some point. And we would rather not have you quit, but not start the program at all from the get-go. So you need to know your why. I'm doing this for me to have a good career and support my children, or have money and buy a motorcycle. You know, whatever your why is, it's different for different people in their journey in life. But you need to understand your why, because your why will keep you focused, will keep you determined. So whenever you feel challenged, and trust me, it's going to be most of the course, you really need to come back to your why. I'm doing this for my child, have a better life than myself. I need this because I want to buy something expensive, I don't know, and do whatever with it, you know? Find your why. Although I would suggest to not be material things, because material things, we don't really need them. So the tuition options, you pay upfront 497 euros. Or you can pay in 2 installments, first payment on July 15th or earlier, and then the second payment is going to be exactly a month after your first payment, and you can receive a scholarship if you are a refugee, asylum seeker, or unemployed, but you do need to prove to us that you belong to these categories. So we need some kind of paperwork that mentions your circumstance.
Right. So that's it for the presentation. I hope we answered many of your questions, but let's check the chat and the
Awesome.
Q&A.
Let me start with Leon. So, is scholarship locked and finalized for every unemployed person that finished an application and send the required papers, or do you make a random choice of some of these people? No, everyone who can successfully provide a paper that he or she is unemployed and has finished the pre-course and has been through the interview with our employability manager, you get a scholarship. We don't choose. For us, the more the merrier. The more scholarships we give, the happier we are. Because we are looking people that are motivated. So if you go through the pre-course, if you go through the interview, this proves your motivation and determination in studying with us. Leon, you have a lot of questions. Thank you for submitting them. Are there any morning classes? Because I have more brain with my morning coffee. I am the same with you, Leon, but we don't do morning classes. You can watch the classes in the morning. So if you choose to not participate, let's say as a regular hacker, which is 6 to 10, 6 to 9, 5 to 9 at night, you can study in the morning. So you can watch the yesterday's live class tomorrow. Then, are there any instructors that talk Greek? No. Is there any way to have the lesson in Greek language? No. We don't do that because we don't want to. We believe for you to become a programmer, you must be able to speak and understand basic English. From what I've seen so far, if you've been able to follow our conversation, so far, me and Slims, I think you have a good enough level to start. And if you are afraid that you don't speak very well, don't worry about it. None of us are native English speakers. So we do our best, and our English skills develops us for the 7 months. So at the end of the cohort, you also speak much, much better English. Sophia, I would suggest, from the morning person, yes. Yes, you can pair, although Slim chooses that, so I'm not sure how do you do that, Slim?
How do I do what? I'm not following.
You assign the pair buddies.
It's depending on the category. If you are a weekend or a regular hacker, so we will match you with someone from your own category. But if some people, like, we try to do this, like with the previous class, like to try to match people that prefer to study like late hours or early hours, but that didn't work that much. So we kept it with the weekend and regular hacker. And then, like, it's on a monthly basis, like we generate automatically the pairs, so it's random. And then you need to organize yourself with your pair to work together. We will ask you to work on the code challenges mainly, and you will be solving them in the live classes. You, not us, we will monitor the live solution process. And thus you need to organize yourself with your pair to find the time to work on them. So, but then, like, we are flexible, so we can make a poll at some point to see who prefer to study during the day or during the night, and we can match based on these preferences.
Would you like to take the next two questions, Slim?
On the Q&A or in the chat?
Yes, on the Q&A.
Okay.
Where he says, if I lose some live lessons.
Yeah. So for the live lessons, for some kind of reason. So if it's a valid reason and you inform us in advance, that's okay. That's why we have the recordings mainly. And if it's not like very repetitive, because like we assess your commitment through the assignments, through following the class pace while studying on the platform, through attending the session, through interacting with your instructor during the session, through asking questions during the with the ticket tool. So it's a whole thing. Like, we will not remove you from the class because you missed a session or two. But if we notice that you are not giving that much importance to the course and you are losing your peers' time and so on, that could be a reason for removing someone from the class. But other than
that's pretty much the only reason.
Yeah. Okay. Does React lesson includes final version of React and TypeScript, or you use JS6 for the lesson? So TypeScript, no, not yet. It's going to be an addition to the course. But yeah, we are using JS6. And the final version, so I see, Leonie, that you already have some coding knowledge. So
yeah, why are you? Yeah.
Maybe for the backend part.
Okay.
So
Uh,
yeah, the final version we are using hooks, not the class components, and so.
for Leo's, I guess it's Leo in English. Yeah. Next question. Do you have connections with companies that are looking for developers to work fully remotely without using freelancer invoice politic? Unfortunately, Leo, pretty much it has been standardized that now companies ask for this freelancer invoice. So this is pretty much how it happens. That has been the industry standard, and I don't think you can get away from that very easily. So, okay, yes. And now for remote job, I don't want to give you false expectations. It's very hard. So working remotely is a blessing that we all enjoy. Also, our team works remotely from all over the world, pretty much. It has been a blessing. We have so many new opportunities that come to us that we can work for, but also the competition is really fierce. So if there is one position in this company in England or in the US, and you see this super huge numbers of money you can make, I feel that this is very hard for people who start with a coding bootcamp. It's hard to land this job. It's very hard. What we propose is for you to find a job locally, wherever that might be. You are in Greece, great. You are in Tunisia, awesome. DRC, fantastic. Jordan, Lebanon, wherever you are, look there. Build your experience for 1 to 2 years, and then you will be able to compete, to have a good chance in the competition for those very high paying jobs. But once you get to that point, once you get to the point where you have 2 to 3 years of experience, really, like you are getting so many LinkedIn messages, it's crazy. Also, we've seen again, this comes from the Greek job market. We see in Greece, you used to start becoming a senior developer around 5 years of experience. Right now, we see companies pushing our ex-graduates, our alumni, into getting senior roles at 2 to 3 years old of experience. So you become a senior much faster. And once you get the job title of the senior, then this opens even more opportunities for you outside of Greece or outside wherever you are. But I don't want to give you false hopes that having a remote job is that easy. It can happen. It has happened. But these are the exceptions. The rule is that you find the job locally. For me, your timeline should have 2 easy steps. Graduate, get your first job, work super hard to become a senior, and then money flows, really. Yeah.
So is a front-end developer a software developer? Can I call myself a software developer if I know JavaScript? Being a software developer, like it implies
I think he's trying to say software engineer. That's what I think he wants to say. Yeah.
Just
the same.
Script is not enough, like to answer your question, but knowing JavaScript, React, and the backend, and you can create an application, like a full-fledged application, that's a software. So a software actually is a set of rules or steps that you are asking the computer to execute. This is what is coding about. So if you are a front-end developer, you are indeed a software developer.
These are minus things that I think the market that we don't have industry standards. So some people call them developers. I feel, I'm not sure about that. In Europe, we call them more developers. And in the US market, they call them engineers. That's my thought about it. Maybe Janice can help us with that. Yeah, you want to...
Next question.
Yeah.
So is there a real project scenario for this project? Are there any side mini project? What is the main project subject? Can we make our own project from our idea? All right. So during the course, every week you will have assignments. So those are the mini projects. For the final project, sorry. So you will, especially at the end of the course, the curriculum, the last weeks before the final project, where when you will have already learned the front and the back end, we will ask you to create some MVPs. So you will create a project from scratch. You will decide on the project idea. Then another week, we will take your project and then dispatch them through the class. Like you will get somebody else's project and you will work on an already existing code base and try to enhance it. And in the meanwhile, like if you want to work on some side projects and stuff like that, especially if you have time and the willing to do so, we totally encourage that. And we have already some of our students doing that. So we won't restrict you from learning.
Work away. Leon, work hard. The bigger portfolio you have, the more opportunities you give to yourself of becoming employed. So the more projects there, the better chances you have. Sophia asks the next question, which is, hello, so my question is this: I have applied as part of the vulnerable group since you are unemployed. In case I don't get the scholarship, can I still pay for the tuition? No need to read the rest. So if you have provided, in your case, a letter from OAEV, so because I understand you're Greek, then you have a scholarship. That's it. There is no questions asked. If you finish the pre-course and you go through the interview and you pass both, you have a scholarship. That's it.
She already finished the pre-course, by the way.
Right. So, bravo, Sophia. Look at Sophia, everybody. She has finished the pre-course. So, yeah, let's do it all together.
Yeah.
Then Leon says, why? It's the only way to earn money and provide to you and your family doing something I love for my house because I want and need to work remotely. Is that a good reason? For me, yes. Yeah, Leon, you know what, man? It's really up to you. Also, you can work for a Greek company remotely. Many companies adapt to the remote work. But I mentioned, maybe it was my bad, because when I talked about remote work, I thought about primarily jobs that come from Western Europe or the Americas. Those are tough remote jobs to land. Yes, there are many Greek and from other countries. There are many opportunities. And if this is so important to you, you will make it. You need a better portfolio. It's a competition. Getting a job is essentially a competition. Either we like it or not, you have to prove that you are better than the other person next to you who is also applying, that you can do the job better. So it's all about that, Leon. How strong you have developed your skills, how much you want it. If you prove to them that you really want it, you will eventually get it. I just want to stay away from either some other boot camps or some people who think they graduate a 7-month course and then they start getting paid $100,000. Although it's possible, it's not that easy. Samantha says that she thanks us to get this chance to be here. Thank you, Samantha, for being here. We're just doing our jobs here. And she says, I have a project idea. So I want to ask, we decide with our pair what we create, or we get a project theme from SHA.
You will have all the guidance during the course, Samantha. Don't worry about that. So depending on the week material and so on. So sometime we will ask you to work on predefined assessment projects, let's say, and sometime you will have the chance to be creative and do what you want to do. So we will discuss this more in depth during the course itself.
Samantha also asks, what's the freelance invoice standard? It's not a standard per se. It's just that companies, especially when companies is registered in one country and the employee lives in another country, then most companies, thank you, Janis, for joining us. We'll see you later. So companies tend to hire people as contractors. That's like the official, let's say, name. You are not an employee, you are a contractor, but you are a long-term contractor. So they might hire you for unlimited time. It's not going to be a fixed time contract. So essentially, some companies prefer that because they don't pay for health insurance benefits, pension benefits, and that kind of stuff. Because if you are a freelancer, you are supposed to have registered a legal entity wherever you live. Do people have companies? Do freelancers have companies? Not all of them. Anonymous attendee, how to be a software developer? I don't know what to answer to you.
Studying with us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Vrez Lal asks, hello, Vrez. I would like to know if there's a certificate when we complete the course. And he says, thank you. Yes, there is a certificate we provide, but the real value you get out of our course is your portfolio. The things you build. This is what the industry cares about, not your paper. Because either the paper comes from us, either it comes from Harvard. If you don't know how to code, you don't know how to code. So what's important? Okay, maybe not Harvard, but I don't know, a normal university. So if you don't know how to code, you don't know how to code. And companies are looking for people who, from day one, start giving value back to the company. So the important thing for you is to learn how to code. And this, you definitely get to that point after successful graduation with us. But we do offer a certificate, yes. Mila again asks, hello, how to be a software engineer? So we've answered that. Let me go to the other questions.
In the chat.
So why price is not 500 euros? Emre is joking with us. Because 500 euros, Emre, is too much. 497, I think it's just the right price. And if you have 500 euros, then you can use the other 3 euros to grab an ice cream. So we do it for you. How much our English level is important for finding a job? This depends on your context. So if you are from Egypt and you are looking for an Egyptian company, then it depends on the company again. It really depends on the context. So speaking English, for us, we consider it mandatory. But the level you speak English at, that's debatable. You don't have to be Shakespeare, to talk about coding. So, but we feel that after successful graduation, you speak good enough English to participate in any company. Yes, Leo, you have to finish the pre-course. No, you have to finish the pre-course until it's the 10th. 8th of July. But Leo, why wait until the 8th of July? Do it today or start today. The faster, the better.
Yeah.
So because we have this first come, first serve situation. So the faster you come and finish all the prerequisites, the faster you are accepted to our 19th cohort. Anita asks, I think this is for you, Slim.
And on React will be introductory, or will we get more in-depth knowledge? So it will be, let's say, in the between. It won't be just introductory, just to know what is React and we move on, but it will not be advanced React. But the thing is that after studying React with us, you will apply what you learned, and during the practice process, we will guide you through learning it more in depth. Then,
yes, Selva asks, is it necessary to have internship before getting a job? No, and yes, it depends. These questions, I wish I could offer a better answer, but it really depends on you. So if you are on the top of the class, I would think that you don't need an internship. You move directly to a job. If you are not at the top of the class, maybe an internship could be a great way to enter a company. And so far, every internship we've done, the person ended up working for that company. And they get job offers very fast, in 3 to 6 weeks. So for us, what we've seen that's important is for you to develop your skills. And there is no better way to develop your skills than actually coding. So this would happen much more in an internship than you staying home and going for coffee with your best friends. Just write code as much as you can and stay away from burns. Janice before responded about, is it called software developer or engineer? She says it depends. So not really. Are my OIR papers accepted for the scholarship? If you send us a valid OIR paper, then yes, probably. Ask the admissions team. Any question you have about these things, ask admissions@socialhackersacademy.org. So I'm going to write here. Please don't send your questions to info@socialhackersacademy.org because that's an email I take care of. Send this to this email that I don't look at it. So it's admissions@socialhackersacademy.org. Any questions, any details about stuff. Although we believe that you don't need more information than what we provide here.
we have some other questions in the Q&A.
Yes, so Stefano says, I have already started watching some videos and courses about HTML, CSS, and basics of JavaScript. Good for you. Is it necessary to watch the first week that includes Python for me? Yes. Everybody has to go through the pre-course. Even if Mark Zuckerberg decides to join us or Elon Musk, whom I assume they are good programmers, yes, they have to go through the pre-course. So everybody needs to go through the pre-course because all of you need to enter the course with the basic things. And we secure that you know the basic things through the pre-course. And for you, if you have all this knowledge, it's not going to take you 2 weeks. It's going to take you 2 days. So just go for it, go fast, get over with it, and get accepted. Samantha asks, is it possible to get an internship without a university degree? Absolutely, yes. This I can say without any hesitation. Yes. It is very possible to get most of our students, most of our graduates, not almost all, don't have university degrees. So don't worry about it. It helps if you have a computer science degree or a mathematics degree. Yes, it will help you, but really, our students, our graduates compete with computer science graduates, and our students are getting the jobs.
And I want to add something myself. I didn't study computer science at university. I was a physiotherapist and I switched my career through a coding bootcamp. So it's completely doable, and don't worry about certifications and titles and so on. What really matters is your growth mindset autonomous learning, and yeah, the skills that you will acquire. Because when you will go through interviews, you will have a technical interview. So if you are from Harvard and you don't know how to solve a coding challenge, and then you are someone else is from Social Hackers Academy with no coding background or without previous certification and solve the code challenge, the interviewer will hire the person that solved the actual coding problem. So don't worry about certificates and stuff like that. Focus on the learning and you will be good to go. So it's
learning and doing, not just learning.
Doing, and it's like the much effort you put, that's what you will get afterwards. So yeah.
And I am the opposite of Slim. I did study computer science, and I am not a programmer right now. I never became a programmer because I never got it. So degrees and stuff doesn't really matter. What matters is your portfolio. How strong is your portfolio? The more you do, the more you learn, the better chance you have. Selva says, host panelists, sorry, yes. Okay. Thank you, Slim. Selva says that he or she really appreciate for accepting refugees. That's what we're here to do. So thank you for willing to participate in our courses. We're just here to serve you and provide access to anyone who really wants to study.
And
study hard.
Yeah, study hard. And the last question in the Q&A, so Mila is saying how to be a volunteer. I don't really get the question, like, do you want to volunteer with us after finishing the course to be a mentor or something like that? Like, maybe if you can elaborate. Okay, cool. So you're welcome, Mila.
Samantha, where we can pay. Once you finish the pre-course, the important thing is to finish the pre-course. Once you finish the pre-course and pass through the interview, then we'll send you a link where you will make the payment. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. So, yeah.
Right.
Any questions before we wrap it up? We are here. We can stay as long as you want, guys. At the same time, if there are no more questions, what I would suggest, if you have any questions, that maybe you think about later, contact us on admissions@socialhacksacademy.org. Watch again this live. We have recorded it, and we're going to upload it to YouTube as soon as possible. So go also subscribe to our YouTube channel, as you should in all our social media, by the way. What are you doing if you don't follow us? Anyway, so yeah, please do that, and we are always here to help.
And also on Discord, we will be always around. And you can reach out to the instructors or the employability team. Halim will be your main instructor. He didn't join today's info session because he had a session with his class, another class right now. So yeah, we will always be available if you have any question. Hello, Halim, he just joined now. Okay.
Halim, we were saying bad things about you earlier, but I'm glad you didn't hear them. Great. Okay, so I guess this is it. Halim came and destroyed the party. Thank you all very much for your active participation. We are very grateful to be considered for this journey that you want to embark upon to become programmer, engineer, whatever you want to call it. My suggestion is to stop thinking and just start doing. And this will define your future and your career. Many people talk. People who do, those are the ones that are getting employed and are changing their lives to code. Awesome. Thank you all very much. Slim, anything before you go?
No, thank you very much, everyone. I hope to see you all interacting with us on Discord. Don't be shy. And whenever you have any issue, any question, don't hesitate to reach out to us. That's the thing that I wanted to say.
Right. Thank you all. Have a lovely day ahead. Ciao.
Bye-bye.